Evening, sorry. Happy New Year. LinkedIn, TikTok. How you doing? Hope you're well. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Instagram. I think I'm on. I've finally fixed my kind of green screen a little bit, so I've got rid of the shakes. But anyway, I want to say Happy New Year to everybody first. I thought it was important to go to start a new year on a positive. My throat is a bit croaky because I had a lot to drink last night. But I wanted to go live just to say Happy New Year. And also, more importantly, how do we start 2024? The first day. What is our hope? What we're going to do? And I think for me personally, to be honest, I'm excited because I know that last year was a kind of a big year, more of a health side perspective. And this year, I think the focus that I see for myself on my own journey is trying to make my life a bit more smarter. What does that mean? It means that my brands, my step up in the community to help and, do more social media marketing for local companies. As I go back to one of my original brands, social media marketing for you, I want to do more for my community, and that's important. And I also want to do, um, I'll be retraining as a mental health professional, as a counsellor, finishing my education. I think those of you who start this year thinking, I want a new career, and there have been many of you here on LinkedIn as well, especially that want to find a new career path. And it's important, I think, that we understand how do we go about that. There is an ebook that I put on LinkedIn for those of you who are on that professional platform. There's so many ways you can look at yourself, and I think that's the key. Certainly, looking at yourself. Look at yourself and say, right, what skills am I good at? What's my passion? And kind of find an alignment there, if that makes sense. I'll go into a little bit more detail about that. So anyway, yeah, there are a whole host of different things we can do. Literally, I'll show this to my TikTok audience because they're on a different camera. I've written down here some of my strategies. Yeah, can't see that. That's going to be my LinkedIn, just my magazine, but I decided to go live on here today. YouTube Shorts, I've got a special kind of software that cuts up my content. And then my TikTok strategy really is mental health plus my series. You can just about see that, folks. I don't know. The lighting's not that great. Snapchat 3 posts a day. You've heard the alarm, TikTokers. And yeah, so it's interesting. So finding a new career. How do you find a new career? I think I'm going to write down one word, okay? And I think this is the best way to kind of, one word really is what I would use for finding a new year, new career, new you, new happiness levels. And that's expertise. Hopefully you can see that. You won't be able to see that on my green screen, sadly, but it is expertise. What do I mean by expertise? You've got to find out what you're passionate about and also find out what skills you have so you can demonstrate your expertise. Now, there's still loads of vacancies across different industries. You've got, social media marketing is one industry, artificial intelligence, software engineer, being a nurse, being a doctor, a mental health professional, a teacher, a writer. The list goes on of all different careers that we want to do. And it's interesting to find out, number one, what we want to do, but what we're good at. There's always a kind of a seesaw effect like this. I think I'm really good at a good writer, so I want to start a book writing career. So I got to start, pitching and going to magazines and, applying for jobs. But I think, to be honest, and this is really for LinkedIn as well, mainly. One of the fundamental problems I've seen last year is that too many job vacancies want so much. They want you to have software experience in InDesign, Adobe, that suite, this software, 3 years, 5 years experience, and people don't have that. They're literally that you're, trying to pick from a lot of people, and you've got really, and the benefits are so small. So what I mean by that is that you've got like a 15, 20 different job requirements and all those specs. And at the end, you read the benefits. Oh, we offer you free gym membership. Oh, we offer you free company shares. It's not enough. I'm not going to come to work for a company that's just going to offer me free gym membership. How inspiring is that? It's like they spent 2 seconds on a job description. So I'm not really a big fan of that. So I'm, I think companies need to really revamp their recruitment strategies. I've been saying this for like 2 or 3 years now, and we're still nowhere near it. And then companies wonder why they don't get the right staff or can't get the staff. You've got to change your recruitment strategy. It's simple. And I think for those that are looking for a new career, new job, literally from today, this week, as businesses open back up and people come back to work, you've got to find out really, you as an applicant, you've got to find out your skill set, your expertise. How do you do that? You go what we call a skills audit. So you have to look at subjectively yourself. What does that mean? It means that you look at your own skills and you find out, there's loads of different worksheets online. You can Google it, skills audit, and you'll be able to print something off. And it's about saying to yourself, am I a good leader, etc. And you find out at the end, there's even software programs you can do that recommend you new careers. I personally would do it on a written bit of paper and just do a SWOT analysis. Literally, a SWOT analysis, your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. I'll quickly draw one for you, TikTokers. So those that might not, LinkedIners, LinkedIners, fans, that sounds so funny. Strengths. I'm sure the global business community, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I think SWOT analysis is probably the best tool ever in business that you can find, because it's so universal, so many different ways. So literally, you get a sheet of paper with it, and you draw 4 boxes. So on the left, you have strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and then underneath, you write one sentence or key words. What do you describe as your strength? Now, the way that I was taught and the way that I used to teach my students when I was a business studies teacher is I'd go left to right, but follow the link, so that if you got a strength, on the reverse side of that, what would be a weakness around that area? And then you keep doing that. I'll put that just for a bit of fun, TikTokers, and I'll stake this on my head. Let's just see if that works. So, yeah, right, you got that. So you got strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. So you go left to right, and that, if you can see that, yeah. And now see on an A4 bit of paper, you're going to go a lot more bigger. Okay, so I haven't got one here, but yeah, you go bigger on an A4 sheet of paper. And it's interesting, and we can do this for so many different things. We can do it for new hobbies even, but the idea is, because we all find it very difficult to look at ourselves, what we think we're good at. I mean, if you've got a good, a good friend, you can do it online together, and you can make a game out of it if you want. And there's so much you can do with post-it notes, and you can do what I'm doing, stick it on your head, and play a game called Give Us a Clue or something. Make it more creative, because when I was a teacher, I created fun lessons. Okay, and when we're having fun in the brain, we learn more, because the brain is just intrigued and it is excited. So you need to make it real and authentic, and that's important. And I think that's really a good way to start in terms of a skills audit, to find out really how you're going to have a better year, because most of you want to have a new job, a new career, and that's, something that I probably might even do in terms of my own business. I've got different avenues sparking off now, and I'm starting to branch off into the community more. So I'm excited as ever on the first day of 2024. It feels great saying that to you, and I think that's important. That if you're looking at yourself right now, this is more of a very short mental health conversation. Well, I'll speak maybe for another 5-10 minutes on mental health. Your mental health in 2024 is going to be important. Okay. Why does it have to be important? Because it is. You're important. Okay. Your brains are important. So I'll switch this off and I'll put a new focus here. Okay. My mental health. Okay. 2024. Right. So again, you can do fun activities with a friend, stick this on your head and just say to yourself, you know what? My mental health in 2024 is going to be awesome. Why is it going to be awesome? Because I'm going to do some homework. I'm going to do a training course. I'm going to be real with my thoughts. I'm going to understand my processes. And I highly recommend those on LinkedIn as well. You can get free access now to counseling skills level 2, which is really good. I've had to do that to become a counsellor. I'm not qualified yet. It's going to take a couple of years at least. There's no quick routes I can find at the moment. But anyway, I'm excited as ever, and I hope you are as well. But it's nice to have this open conversation with you across my social media platforms, because when you talk about stuff, and that's the power of healing, the power of talking therapies, is that we need to speak and have our feelings open. And those of you who are on Instagram, I think I've clicked Instagram here, speaking to, because I want to grow my followership there as well. We want to start 2024 on a positive, yes. But how do we do that effectively? And I think for me, it's really about understanding who we are, what we want, and how we're going to get there. Okay, how are you going to get to the best you, the best version of you in 2024 through your mental health? And that means more about understanding who you are. And I spoke last year a lot about finding out who you are. And my argument in my case is this: listen, we don't get to understand who we are in life until we start to be thankful, because most of us are so busy with our lives, our families, our friends. We don't get a chance to sit down and work things out and slow our thoughts down and work out what we want to do. So my kind of core advice really is to be thankful, and then start to reflect more, and then to going back to my first keyword, which was if you can see that, TikTokers, expertise, right? You don't get to build your expertise until your mental health is good. So the idea is to be more thankful. You wake up every single day, you're thankful. You spend time 1 hour up to before you switch on your mobile phone, like I do. You start to meditate on your thoughts. You understand what stresses are going on. You process that. So you might be worried, but you've processed it. Because you've processed it, for example, if you're a sufferer from panic attacks, you're less likely to have a panic attack. And that's so important. So, that's really a good kind of starting point, I believe, about your mental health in 2024. Some of you might be listening and watching, and you might be having a panic attack, or you've got PTSD, or like me, you suffer from epilepsy or a long-term medical or mental health condition. And it's hard, right? And you think, you know what, I just want a good start to the year. We can start today, here, right now. And sometimes as I'll switch over just to make this a bit more interesting, we need to literally brainstorm, right? Brainstorming has been around for hundreds of years, and I don't think it's taught that well today with students. I taught it a lot with my students. So to get good mental health, right, I'll put this back. I don't know if I can. No, I'm going to go from my head on this. So yeah, brainstorming. Brainstorming is important. Hope you can see that. So literally, brainstorming is kind of, you sit down like I'm there, and you might get another sheet of paper, and you'll think to yourself, you know what? I need to just brainstorm. So you think, that's all you're doing. You switch off your mobile phone and you just think, okay, right, and it could be any subject, okay? Any subject you want. It could be a new year, new career. It could be how to find better mental health. This is going to fall off. Never mind. But anyway, brainstorming is important because it teaches us to recognize, some of the things we might feel we want to do in our lives. And I think we don't use it enough because sometimes I think I'm doing so much social media. Like last year, every day I post on social media every single day. This year, I'm gonna, stay true to my word and go live every day across all my social media platforms because every single social media platform, including here on TikTok and LinkedIn, there's a billion people on TikTok. There's a billion people on LinkedIn, and everyone's going like that with their finger, going doom scrolling. And to cut into that feed, okay, I want to go live and just be me, be authentic, and say, look, this is my advice. You can, listen to me. I'm trying to redesign when TikTok have finished the new features for series. For those on LinkedIn, LinkedIn Learning is good, but I think that there is when you're trying to produce your own courses, you look at different platforms, you think, what one should I go on? And sadly, last year I wasn't successful in my application to become a LinkedIn instructor. But I think that was good for me because it allowed me to focus more on my own development. So I'm building my own platform where you can actually have courses. They're still available here on TikTok exclusively. But because TikTok are changing the platform and they're making the tools better, I'm hoping to expand on that and start to push through some really good courses and sales revenue. Okay, so I'm going to move on from mental health to starting a business now in 2024. And generally speaking, this will be the new format for the show. So I'll talk about business, the economy, starting a business, social media marketing, and mental health. Those are the core subjects I want to talk about. Starting a business, right? I'm going to go basic. The other day I spoke a bit about. I wasn't talking about branding. I think I'll cover branding today in short. Can't remember what subject I was talking about. Anyway, branding is something that I wouldn't say I'm an expert at, but I think that we can, as a startup business, if you got a dream, and I know that I support Simon Squibb's work on, everyone creating their dream through starting a business. Lots of people have, and my students were no different. Lots of people have lots of great ideas. I want to start a business. And for LinkedIn, this is slightly different because you already established, most of you. How do you build clients? How do you get clients? There's no way around it. This is where I'm going to lead into a bit more of social media marketing. We spend our lives on our phone, okay? And I was talking to a pub landlady I was pitching literally last night on New Year's Eve. Had a conversation about helping her turn the pub over, okay, and make it better. You have to put your business on social media. There's no two ways about it because that's where people's attention is. As Gary Vee says, who I support massively, as he will put it, day trade attention, which is the title of his new book, okay, which is coming out in June, I believe. Those on TikTok and LinkedIn, a lot of people follow Gary Vee. I watch him a lot because I get a lot of marketing expertise from him. And yeah, so it's about attention and it's about understanding, okay, there's the attention. So 2-3 years ago, TikTok was booming literally because you could post 15-second videos and you'd go viral. And that's the only reason I got so many followers. And I've only got 140,000, which is small in the business world, really. And I think it's more for me, it's more about the name. So my name means something because on LinkedIn, I've got thought leadership. What does that mean? It means that I'm kind of an expert in my field and I put out good information and ideas about how to, for instance, on emotional intelligence, mental health, which I talk about daily here on TikTok. But other platforms that people know me, some of my friends are watching this now on Facebook because I want to reach out to as many communities as possible. And that's the reason why I go live. So those of you who want to start a business literally from today, 2024, today is your day. Now, a lot of people are, and even, speaking to the lady last night, bless her, they understand that social media needs to happen, but they don't want to push. Like, they spend money on an ad, right? But they won't spend money investing and set up their own ecosystem, their own network, their own social media platforms, and getting people to come and pay and post content. It takes time. All right. It took me 5 years to get to this level where I am now, where I've got a little bit of a platform. It's not really that big. I'm only a micro influencer. I'm not massive. Okay. But I think that you have to, it's about posting content. You're not always going to want to do that for yourself, as in, okay, I'm not very good in front of the camera. As you can see, I'm quite natural. And the other, as Gary Vee says, there's written form, there's audio podcasting, always experiment in social media. I mean, writing out literally using post-it notes this morning, about 20 minutes ago. I'll go through them again. So LinkedIn, I've got a magazine on LinkedIn, right? I'll stick that up there. So my LinkedIn strategy is just, you can see it there. It's just a magazine. I've got over 4,000 subscribers. The magazine is free. It's a newsletter, but it allows me to establish, it's called Empathy Leadership Magazine. And it's an interesting one because it originally was called Empathy News Magazine. But, I love writing when I get the time. And for me, being on LinkedIn, where 1 billion people now are literally on the platform, is, so interesting for me. I can reach people. People enjoy the magazine. I want to grow it, which is really good. And I've got plans to sell the magazine once I get it to a certain stage. So I've got really good, a plan for that. And then I'll just move on to Snapchat. Some of you use Snapchat. Even for you here on LinkedIn, where you want to get new clients, you've got to live some of your life, I would say, argue, on the social media platforms. I mean, Snapchat, for me, all I'm going to do on Snapchat is literally post 3 words a day. Literally, that's for you, LinkedIn. I'm probably going to lose followers on LinkedIn because LinkedIn is more professional. But I want to be me. And I think sometimes, I've been in this game long enough to know that, sorry, TikTokers, if you can see that, that's all I'm doing. That's my part of my business strategy. Business strategy is, how are you going to generate revenue? What's your focus? So some people get confused. It's quite difficult for me to cover a lot of ground in this hour. I'm going to try to speak for another 30 minutes if I can, if I was as long as possible to cover the content. Business strategy is how your business model works, all the components, but your marketing or your social media strategy is how you get to your audience. Then there is so different many ways that we can define that, but that's a very short definition. Right, so social media marketing and business strategy. I'll talk about my business strategy and social media marketing strategy, which I have talked about already. I'll switch over to my TikTok strategy. I think that's quite fun. So, I'll put this on there. So my TikTok strategy is mental health, plus my series and experiments. Now, I love experimenting. All right. LinkedIn, I hope you can see that. TikTokers, I hope you can see that as well. What do I mean by this? Okay, I mean what content am I producing? What's the core theme? I talk about mental health on my, as you can see back, TikTokers, you know who I am. I'm Healthy Secrets, but back here on other platforms, there's a badge and an advert of me, Healthy Secrets, and I've also got a little logo of my company, Empathy Leadership Magazine, or magazine, sorry, newsletter. Now, it's not very big at the moment, but in order for me to get to where I need to go, my business strategy on TikTok, I'll be doing experiments to find out how I can reach people. Yes, TikTok are pushing for, I've heard this from another creator, 10 minutes plus videos, which I don't think I'll get into. I don't think it will make the platform better at all. I think people will dive off of it in all honesty. But that's a big thing to ask creators, because, you know, at the end of the day, if, you know, TikTok have got their strategy, LinkedIn have got their business strategy, and where you sit on those platforms, I would say, for me, what I've learned, to go viral is good, but it won't last forever. Okay, the algorithms will always change, and it's really how you feel, what your energy levels are, your capital spend, or, you know, how much you got in the bank, to say how much time have I got and where can I get the most attention, as Gary Vee said, day trade attention. So how do we kind of get more attention? So if you start a business now and you start posting content on TikTok, for example, yeah, I talk about mental health because that's my expertise. Going back to my first keyword, expertise. And that's important because I want to stay in my zone, but I'm not scared of coming out of my comfort zone. And this is why I launched this podcast. I'm going live every single day, to the degree where I don't care people unfollow me, because I want to be real. I want to be real and authentic with my own kind of brand. And that's important. So I'm creating my new personal brand. People buy people, as Simon Sinek says. And, you know, I don't have a finite amount of resources, but what I can do is show up every day on your phone. So when you're going like that with your finger, the next time you see me and you found this conversation interesting, you might want to come back and come into the conversation, at least watch. I know for a fact, I can tell you now from data, I've got, now this is quite, and it's probably a lot of people giving me a lot of likes, but over 500 people have liked this live stream. And that's interesting. I've got a nearly, 570 viewers that have gone through it at least. And not everybody's going to watch every single post. And every single thing that you do. That's fine, because we've all got busy lives. Okay. So when you talk about social media marketing strategy, come up with a simple one. If you're starting a business, get a post-it note and just put on there, literally, this is what I'm going to do. And, you know, my other one, let's see now. I've lost it now. Yeah, I'll use my Snapchat. So I'll try and fit two if I can. I don't think this is going to work, but you can see now on my right, or your left, sorry, that's TikTok, I think, and that's Snapchat, or the other way around. But anyway, so on this side, I've got my TikTok strategy, and then on that side, I've got my Snapchat. So, and you put this into your brain, okay, you work it out, and then you do your SWOT analysis, okay, strengths, weakness, opportunity, threat. After 1 month, okay, so going a bit more detail, you've got your strategies up here in your head, and then you do a SWOT analysis on the data in a month's time, or even a week, yeah, depending how many posts you're doing. Ideally, I'll back up Gary Vee and say, look, end of the day, 7 to 15 posts across social media. Some people start off on one social media form. It depends what you're trying to do. If you're going B2B, LinkedIn is the way. If it's B2C or doing a physical product, TikTok shop is better, I'd say. But you need to have a presence. And some people spend too much time on the business idea and they don't focus on actually creating content. Like, there will be people thinking, what on earth is this guy doing with 2 post notes on his head? I'm trying to give you business lessons around, some of the content strategies and social media marketing strategies that you can use, simplify. Even businesses here on the world's biggest networking platform, LinkedIn. A lot of businesses struggle because the bigger the company is, the more levels, red tape, meetings you have to create one marketing campaign. And I think what excites me about 2024 is that when I'm going to be working with local businesses, some of them are global brands, and I'm working with the manager of that branch, which is great. And they have a lot of autonomy, and we're going to be working with one of my posting notices flew off lovely. Going to be working with Anytime Fitness, hopefully, to try and build a good social media presence locally. They've just had a refit. That's going to be a good project. And then I'm working with a pub as well under Heineken, I think it is, the brewer, I'm not sure. But these are global brands. And when you work with businesses on a local, it's nice to meet the people. And that's where your expertise come in play, because your skills, communication skills, need to matter for you when you start business. So you might not be confident at basically producing content and videos. You're a bit shy. But then equally, okay, right, what do I need to do? How am I going to build a business, Steve? I'm not very good on social media. I know I follow people. I watch you. I've watched Gary Vee. I've watched many other big people, watch Richard Branson or whoever you follow, okay? You've got to start somewhere. And I think as the online Walmart Mark Law says, just get started, okay? It's Walmart. You need to just get started. And I think for me, there's, I see, and I've watched Simon Squibb do his TikToks live, and they're brilliant. And the same thing happens on every person he speaks to. They have these great ideas, but they haven't got that, he could stand there, I could stand and give you the best advice, but you've got to take the action. You've got to get out there, and you've got to say to yourself, you know what? If I say to you, right, this is how you start a business, build a personal brand, post 3 different videos per day across social media, whether that be TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, or X or Twitter formerly, and build a presence, because there's about 4 to 5 billion, so about 50% of people on their phones now on the world population, I'd say roughly. LinkedIn last year jumped to a new record of 1 billion users. So LinkedIn is a very busy platform at the moment. A lot of people going like that, literally trying to find different, information that they can help to promote their own business, because they or sell to people. And it's probably not that much different to TikTok, in the sense that we're watching entertainment, but also because the business, starting a business on TikTok, for instance, has got a more, let's say, it's quite attractive. Okay. As a creator myself, humbly, I've got access to all the monetization tools, which, it takes time. And I don't have a lot of time to knuckle down and be a full-time creator. That's not really what I do. I'm more of a overall generalist in different areas. And I've used that to my advantage to build up first my expertise. I'll come back to one of my post-it notes. I'll stick that on there, because I think if you say if you remember one thing, that's for you, LinkedIn and Instagram and Twitch, and that's for you, TikTokers up here. I ain't got the light on that, but expertise. Your expertise is so important, because if you don't have knowledge, How are you going to sell? How are you going to sell a product service? Yeah, you need to have knowledge. How do you get knowledge? E-learning, watching this video. Yeah, so many different things that we can do to, get our expertise. And I can't remember the formula. Give me a moment. I'm going to brainstorm for a moment. Remember my brainstorming post-it note. Yeah, I'll give you two keywords. So learn your expertise. How do you get expertise? To find out what you're good at through brainstorming. All right. So these are the two key words I want you to use. All right. So on my left or right is brainstorming, I think, and that is expertise, or the other way around. I can't see it, but I'm hoping that you guys can. Yeah, brainstorming is here, and then you've got expertise. Learn these two keywords, right? When you want to start a business, this is going to help you, right? And then always come back to this. Yeah, I don't think LinkedIn, you can't see this. No, but my TikTok community, you can see that strengths, opportunities, strengths. Your SWOT analysis, that is your key magic gateway to starting a business. Oh, I've got it. Yeah, that's worked on LinkedIn. Yeah, but LinkedIn people know how to do SWOT analysis. Yeah, it's the world's biggest network platform, and that's really important. So anyway, what's left? What is left to talk about? I'll try and summarize everything, I think, in short. So let's say you wake up tomorrow. I'll give you a story to finish off. You wake up tomorrow and I've given you all this knowledge, and you've gone away, you've done some more research, and you think, you know what, I enjoyed what Steve said last night, or you just got a new way about you and you want to build up on your momentum of starting 2024 on a positive. That's a good place to start. You've done your SWOT analysis, your brainstorm. That's that one again. Okay. That's great. So now you have to make a plan. Right. Okay. How do I do that? Do I have to write it down, or do I go and do it? Whatever you feel comfortable, because lots of people, I'd say, in the first 2 weeks of January will literally just think, and take no action. Write things down, do a PowerPoint, record a video, throw it out there, send an email, apply for a new job. Do everything you possibly can. Don't go into burnout, don't overdo it, but make a plan. I'd say between 30 minutes and an hour. Just handwrite it, literally. If you want to use what I've done tonight and just write post-it notes and have a brainstorming session, okay, the old-fashioned lovely brainstorming, that's going to be great. And I think my sticky notes are going to run out. But anyway, brainstorming is great, and it is one of the best ways to build a plan. I can't tell you specifically everything you need to do to start your year on a positive, apart from checking on your mental health, make sure you're waking up being thankful, hydrate water, exercise, get to the gym. That's up to you. You've got to go for it yourself. I'm not going to be there with you. I'll inspire you from my videos and my content, but at the end of the day, you've got to push yourself. Okay, when I say push, it's probably the wrong word. I don't mean go at it 110 miles an hour. Some people say, I'm going to go for it this year. It's going to be my year. I'm going to do so much. And I done that last year in January. And guess what happened? I had a seizure. So 1 year ago, I decided, after my seizure, I resigned from my job as a support worker. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to just mellow out for a couple of months. And that's what I did. And I know that starting this year, literally today, to the first day of 2024, I am up for building the content, supporting my community with good mental health resources, growing my expertise, coming back to expertise, building my brainstorming sessions. So I know that looking at, all my different social media networks and saying to myself, look, the feedback is good. Keep looking at the data, building my brands, building my revenue. Hopefully I get some good sales in the till this year. I need the money because I want to reinvest in my brands, invest in my community to build resources that will last, even when I go up to heaven. I am a born again Christian, so I do believe it's my duty to help others, and I do that from my content. So I think sometimes when you want to start a business, or you start literally the first New Year's Day and you think, I just want a better year, how do I do that? You get into the nuts and bolts of it. You have a deep thought about who you want to be, the job, the career, and so many other different things that you need to achieve. Now, I've covered a lot of material, okay, in the last 45 minutes. I am going to push out and see if I can do the 1 hour. I might slow down a little bit to give my voice a break, so bear with me. I want to be with you guys for another. I'm going to go for another at least 5 minutes and see how I feel, because I've got to rest my voice. And then I think that will lead on to my next conversation about talking about burnout, because I just spoke about it in brief from my seizure last year in January, and I don't want to make the same mistake again. So I've got to look after my own self, the same as you, and I'll talk about that in a moment. Right, so let me just write out burnout. So I'll write it out. You can do this with friends. How to avoid burnout. I think this would be one of my last few questions. How to avoid burnout. Right. Hopefully it sticks nicely. Okay. LinkedIn. Yeah. Burnout is a real condition that's recognized by the World Health Organization. And it is important that we look after our physical and mental health. Burnout is real. What does it really mean? It means that we are, I would say, going back to my own individual story, last year in January, I set up all these different goals I wanted to do. I wrote them all down, and including I wanted to get into my church more, step up, different volunteer projects. But I, and then my health declined. I put too much pressure on myself. And I think what's different for me this year is that I decided to go at the pace of speed that I feel comfortable with. Sometimes in life, we can go at life at 110 miles an hour, okay? And that's not great, okay? Because you will get burnout. I'm going to try to flip this on my wall, guys, TikTokers. It'll probably just pop down there, because there you go, it's gone. But anyway, burnout is so important that we talk about it, because so many people in 2023, including me, literally a year ago, hit that level. And I had a seizure, and then I resigned from my job. I took a break. I put myself back together again up here. And that was quite difficult for me to do. So I think that the best path really to be, like when I was teaching, I always used to teach my students to be organized. And I think today, in this particular podcast episode, the first one of 2024, I've shown you my post-it notes, and I've stuck them, trying to give you as much help and advice and support as possible. The practical things that I've used literally like an hour ago and built. When you do things like a SWOT analysis, it lowers your anxiety, because if we don't have a plan, a structured plan that's safe for us, and we just go at everything at 110 miles per hour, then that's going to be difficult for us. And at one stage, you might even develop panic attacks, and that's going to be difficult, okay? It's difficult because then you might get more anxiety, and then you've got to go to the doctors, and then you've got to wait to see if you can get onto the list of getting cancelled, and it just spirals on and on and on. So we need to be a bit more real. And I think that would be my next keyword. I'll write it down on my post-it note. to get a better life for you in 2024, learn to be real, right, with yourself. Because if you're not real with yourself, then how do you expect people to believe in you, help you, or you help others? So that is my next tip. Learn to be real with yourself. Okay. And you can do that through reflection. Okay. And post-it note gone again. But anyway, I just wanted to get that in there. Okay. Learn to be real yourself and understand, to do that, we have to look at life a lot more seriously. What I've learned as I approach 50, I'll be 40. Can't remember. I think I'm 48 this year. I can't remember. I know I don't look it, but I'll be 48 in June, 6 months' time. So I'm not far off 50. And I feel about 30, I'll be honest with you. And I think if we look at life seriously, not too seriously, we want to have fun. And that's the idea of looking at life seriously. We choose the times where we want to have fun. If we can go on holiday, we go on holiday. That's great. I'm going to see my friend in Ireland in a month's time, 4 weeks. I can't wait. It's going to be good. Just for a weekend. It's the first time I've been to Ireland. I'm excited. He might even be watching this right now. I don't know. But anyway, I'm joyful for that. So I've given myself something to look forward to. And I think to avoid burnout and get to this point, learn to be real with yourself by knowing when to work. And this is an old Mars bar advert. Learn to work, rest, and play. So we work when we need to, and some of us are privileged that we can work for ourselves. We find our career, go back to SWOT analysis, and then we rest on the days we need to rest, because rest is important to avoid burnout. And then play, we have the fun when we want. We go on those holidays, or we do the hobbies either at home that we like doing. And I think that's important. So to learn to be real with yourself, okay, is to know when to rest, work, and play. That's a really simple answer. So I'm going to speak now for remaining 9 minutes, which I think, because I've done a subscription target, and I don't think anyone subscribed, but I'm just messing about on TikTok. So again, I'm experimenting on TikTok. So let me go back to my original talking about setting up a business. Right, I can't find it now. Where is it? TikTok, where are you? Here we go. Yeah. So this is probably a good thing to learn. Experiment. You can see it there at the bottom. Okay, guys. Experiments. So one way we can learn to be real with ourselves is to take risk and experiment to find out what we're good at. This is my TikTok strategy. Mental health is my subject, and then plus that's a series there, an experiment. So I know that if I'm going to find out what's going to sell for me this year on TikTok in terms of my business, my revenue, and to be real with myself, I've got to be true and speak the truth into this video. So I'm being real by creating real content that matters, that's useful. So that's another way you can look at to be real with yourself, is to understand what you're good at, understand your expertise, experiment, okay, that bottom keyword there, and then you'll pick up and you'll find out, okay, this is what I'm good at. I really want to get into this idea. This is you thinking now of experimenting. And I use the word experimentation a lot on social media, because that's one of the things I love about going across. Even though social media marketing is very hard, it's always changing. The goalposts are always changing, literally. Is to keep experimenting and test the algorithm. A bit like You know, if you've ever watched Man of Steel Superman when he gets his powers, you know, the only way to test your powers is to keep pushing them. And I think that's what I do good on social media, you know, marketing. I always try to push the boundaries and be creative, and, you know, don't be shy. We can't all do that because some of us don't want to go on camera. I appreciate that. But again, that comes back to the question, how are you going to learn to be real with yourself if you're always afraid? And that's where you need to take risk in life. And this year, 2024, it might be that year, this is the day, this is the moment after watching this video that you say to yourself, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to listen to Steve, or someone else you follow, or in your head, you think, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I ain't going to give up. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to start my business, or I'm going to go for that marathon, or I'm just going to go. I'm going to break up my partner. I think you know, some of us are in really dark trouble at the moment. You know, we've got different things going on in our lives. That could be you, whether it's business or mental health. To be real with ourselves is to speak to ourselves, right? What does that mean? As I close off in these last 5 minutes, to be real with yourself and understand who you are and your place in this world, or where you want to go in 2024, is really saying to yourself, right, I need to look at everything in my life. Wow, that's going to take me a long time. It won't, okay? Just focus on the here and now. Don't worry about last year. Last year was yesterday. Last year was last week. It doesn't matter unless you're building momentum and you're running in on a positive. And today can be that extra positive because you're going to hit that reset button and you're going to say to yourself, you know what? I'm going to stand up. I'm going to get myself in the gym. I'm going to start my fitness. And even if you burn out, not literally, if you stop the gym in like March, which most people do, it's just data science. That's what it's telling us, that most people hit the gym and they go and they finish in March and they change. But, you know, to build momentum and to be happy and to find out who you are in life, set your targets, not too many. Be real with yourself. Understand who you are. You know, spend time doing. I've got to find my. Keep losing my post-it notes. Yeah, use a SWOT analysis. Okay, your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. This exercise, if you learn anything from my video today, that's the number one thing I want you to take away. The SWOT analysis trick. Sadly, I can't do one live with you, but you fill it in from left to right and down. And the idea really is to pick up, and by doing that small exercise, even just 10 minutes on whatever subject you want to pick, whether it be a new career, new business, new relationship, whatever it is, using the SWOT analysis system, you'll be able to lower your stress, lower your anxiety, and you'll be able to find happiness in who you are, which takes, you can't find out who you are without doing these exercises, right? I can't tell you who you are and where you're going to go. It's up to you to work that out for yourself. I've given you some tips and advice in this educational live talk video, but equally the onus is upon you now, and that's so important. So I want to thank everybody that's joined me in this conversation across my platforms, which is LinkedIn, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, of course, Instagram. Happy New Year. As I close off on the last 2 minutes and 43 seconds, and I've done 1 hour's talk now. I probably won't be able to do another hour every day, but I'll do my best, okay, to make this production slightly more better, keep it a bit more fun and excited. News for you. So news for you, just a bit of really exciting news for me, and I'll let you in. News for you is a news brand that I own, that I'm trying to experiment with, but I'm doing it in a podcast way because not the biggest platforms in the world which we post on here, TikTok, Facebook, they're not promoting news. Even brands like Sky News and BBC News, they're holding back on that. So we have got to be more creative. And one of the best ways I feel that I can shine a bit more better through my own business strategy is going by live every day. As you can see, I've been speaking for an hour. It's all freelance stuff. I'm a former teacher. I don't need to plan for hours and hours to do one live show. Yeah. So sometimes in life, we just literally got to go for it. And I think that will be one of my last bits of advice for you. Just go for it in 2024, but do it smartly. Do your planning first, okay? Do your SWOT analysis, right? That's important. LinkedIn's, I don't think you can see that. But anyway, that's important for you. It's important for your mental health and your mental being or your mental fitness, whatever word you prefer to use. Some people say don't focus on your weaknesses, focus on your strengths. I think once you've done this tool properly, you'll work out what pathway you want to take. And that's important because the pathways we take in life are the ones we feel comfortable with. And I know a lot of people are suffering poor mental health at the moment. Sadly, you know, there's a lot of people out there that choose to end their life. And that's one thing I'm campaigning against, better mental health. That's why I speak about it every single day, because I've been to dark places. I know what it's like. We get one life on this planet, and it's really up to us, really, how we choose to live it. We go through pain, that's real, but equally, we learn more about ourselves through pain than we do when we're happy. So what does that mean? It means that we start to enjoy life because we understand what we're good at. So that's it for me. Thank you so much, folks. I've hit the 1 hour mark. I want to say happy New Year. It's been an honor to speak to you on New Year's Day. Can't believe I've done an hour. That's good. And sometimes, see, I went out a bit out of my comfort zone because I didn't think I'd go that long, but I've enjoyed it. I hope some of you have enjoyed it and you've got some good, valuable content or information from it. Thank you, everybody across whoever's watching this, including some of my friends and family. If I didn't get to say Happy New Year to you, I wish you a great Happy New Year. Join me daily here on News for You podcast, available on most social media platforms. I normally go live at 1 o'clock. The show normally starts at 1 p.m. Where I talk about mental health, social media marketing, business, the economy, and all the things that we need to learn really to get ourselves moving for a brighter and better future. Thank you, folks. I'm going to end my mainstream now. So goodbye, Facebookers and LinkedIn and everything.